Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardanam devaki paramanandam Krishnam vande jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 14th adhyay of the Traya Vibhag Yoga, the yoga of the discrimination on the three gunas. And just in the introductory verse we read last, Sri Krishna told us that I am now going to share with you that supreme most of the knowledge among all the knowledges in this creation. That supreme most knowledge, having gained, having attained to that supreme most knowledge, that all the sages of the earlier times, they have attained to perfection. They have attained to perfection, having passed over that life. That is what Sri Krishna started off this 14th adhyaya with the shlok Param Bhuyaha Pravakshami Jnananam Jñānamuttamam. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the blessed Lord said that Pravakshami Param Bhuyaha. Again, now I am going to tell you the supreme Jnananam Jñānamuttamam, the supreme knowledge, the best among all the knowledges. Yat jñātva, having known which, munayaha sarve, all the sages, all the seers, all the enlightened souls, all the realized beings for that matter, param siddhim itaha gatim. They have gataha. Param siddhim itaha gataha. They have all crossed over from this life. When they have departed, they have attained to perfection. Siddhim. Siddhim itaha gataha. Itaha is after this life, after the present life. They all got liberated. They all were free from this cycle of birth and death, and they attained the perfection. That is the ultimate perfection, having escaped the cycle of birth and death. Now, Sri Krishna, in the second shlok that we are going to read, Sri Krishna is again going to tell us that what is the benefit that we will get out of this, attaining this knowledge. Yes, they cross over. They get to the perfection, to the ultimate stage of perfection. But how is that stage of perfection? And that Sri Krishna is telling us in this second shloka. Idaṃ jñānamupāśritya mama sādharmyamāgatāḥ sarge'pi nopajāyante pralaye vyathanti. What happens of such beings? What happens of such beings who have got the ultimate knowledge, who have grasped the supreme most knowledge that Sri Krishna is going to tell us in this adhyaya? In a same knowledge with a different perspective. So Sri Krishna says, idaṃ jñānamupāśritya. Upāśritya is having taken refuge in, having taken shelter in, having devoted themselves to this knowledge. Idaṃ jñānamupāśritya. Having taken shelter, having taken refuge, having grasped the essence of this knowledge. Idaṃ jñānamupāśritya mama sādharmyamāgatāḥ. They attain unity with me. Again, what Sri Krishna had earlier told us, they reach me. They reach me. And again, Sri Krishna is telling him, Mama Sadharmya, my being, my they attain to my being. Mama Sadharmya, Sādharmyam Agatāḥ. They attain to this unity with me. Sam dharmam. They become one with me. They come to my personality, for that matter, my entity. They come ultimately to me, having attained to unity with me. What happens to them? What happens to such beings who attain oneness with the Lord? Sarge'pi na upajāyante. Sarge is creation. At the time of creation, na upajāyante, they are not born again. They reach the ultimate goal. They are not born again, neither pralaye na vyathanti cha. At the time of dissolution, at the time of destruction, they are not vyathanti, and they are not disturbed. They don't get that painful experience of leaving this world. This is what normally happens with the worldly beings. They come into world crying, they go out of this world crying. Oh my God, I am going now. What is going to happen to me? The whole life they have wasted not knowing what is the ultimate goal. They have wasted the whole life. They have just put their lives in the unwanted pleasures and pains. They have made no use of the opportunity of this human birth that they have got through the blessings of the Lord. So that is an opportunity lost. And at the time of their death, at the end point, they are in deep pain. They are in deep distress. Oh my God, I am leaving now. So Sri Krishna says, for such people, whether it is their personal death or at the end of the creation of this cycle, at the end of the cycle of this creation, whether it is beginning of creation or it is end of the cycle of this creation, or whether it is at birth or at the end of the birth, they are not born. First of all, at the time of creation, they are not reborn. They are not born again. That is a history for them. That is, a chapter is over. That book is finished. There is no more birth, no more death. That is what happens to those souls, to those realized souls, to those enlightened ones who have attained oneness with the Lord. They who, having devoted themselves to this knowledge, have attained to unity with me. They are neither born at the time of creation, nor are they disturbed, nor are they put to any pain or any grievance at the time of dissolution. They are not grieving at the time of dissolution. Because they don't come into existence at all. One who doesn't come into existence, where is an opportunity for that one to become sad at the dissolution, at the time of dissolution? Because there is no birth, there is no death. The doll of salt consigned to sea loses its assumed individuality and regains its natural state. The salt doll, salt comes from sea. And we make a doll, we create a doll out of that salt. Now just think that salt doll, we put it in sea again. What is it? It has come from the sea. It has existed for some time in the form of that doll. And when we put that salt doll again in the ocean, it is merged back with its natural state. That is, the ocean is the natural state. Paramatman is the natural state for all of us. Ultimately, when we understand this truth, when we gain this ultimate knowledge, we become one with the Paramatman. The salt doll merges in its own natural state. Even such is the case with the Jnani. The Jnani gets himself identified with Brahman, who is beyond the modifications of Prakriti. Purusha doesn't come under the realm of Prakriti at all. Purusha is beyond. Purusha is much, much beyond the realm of Prakriti. So there is no creation, there is no destruction. And the jnani is having attained that ultimate knowledge of Brahma jnana. They cross over this realm of Prakriti and merge themselves with the Parabrahman. Transmigrations involving in birth and deaths do not trouble and tarnish such realized souls. There is no transmigration. There is a liberation from the cycle of birth and death. That is the ultimate moksha, that is the ultimate nirvana, becoming one with the Supreme Lord. So Sri Krishna said, this is what happens with such people who listen to my words, who follow the path that I have shown them, who assimilate the knowledge that I am sharing with them so compassionately, free of cost. You are not being charged anything to gain this knowledge. I am giving you with all my compassion, with all my grace, with all my blessings. So that is what Sri Krishna once again reiterates in this second shloka of the 14th adhyay. Now, Sri Ramakrishna, with his typical, knack of giving examples for each and every saying of the Lord. Sri Ramakrishna says, boiled paddy does not sprout when sowed in the field, but the unboiled grain keeps on propagating. You take the rice grains, boil it, make it rice, and you sow that rice, cooked rice. Will you ever get a crop of paddy out of that cooked rice? No, everything is cooked, gone, vanished. There is no trace of any kind of sprout being germinating again. But the unboiled rice, the uncooked rice, from the bag, you take a few grains and put them in the ground. After a few days, you water them, you nourish them. After a few days, you will see that crop coming again. And this is what happens with all of us. This is what is going to happen with all the beings. And it has been happening, it is happening, it is going to happen. Those unboiled, uncooked grains, they are never to come back. But those cooked grains, those cooked and boiled grains, they are never going to come back again. But the uncooked and the unboiled grains, they are going to have another sprouts, another cycle of birth and death, till the time the grains get totally cooked. The man baked in the fire of Brahmajnana is no more troubled with births and deaths, but the ignorant one cannot escape from that ordeal. It is an ordeal, birth and death. We don't realize how much suffering this birth and death is bringing us with every birth and death. But we remain ignorant. We don't try to understand the pangs of this cycle of birth and death. We are so much tempted by this Maya. So get over that ignorance. Get to the grave. Understand grasp the ultimate knowledge. Become one with the Lord. And that's what Sri Krishna is telling us once again and again. And Sri Ramakrishna is with this example. This example, same example also can stand here that Sri Ramakrishna has given us earlier. The baked pots. Baked broken pots, they are never put back to that wheel of the pot maker. They go out. They go out of that cycle. But the unbaked broken pots, they are again brought back. They are again made into clay, and they are again put on that wheel to form a new pot till it gets fully baked. Even if it is broken, then it is of no use. So Sri Ramakrishna again and again tells us that heat here, get burnt in this fire of Brahmajnana, get burnt in this fire of Atmajnana, and get away from the pangs of birth and death. Get away from these troubles of birth and death. So that was a very, very, very short and beautiful explanation by Sri Krishna, and the example by Sri Ramakrishna on this second shloka of what happens with the sages, what happens with the realized souls who attain to Brahmajnana. They are sarge'pi nopajāyante, pralaye na vyathanti cha. They are not to be born again at the time of creation, and they don't undergo pangs of destruction. They don't undergo the pain, the troubles that normally the beings undergo at the time of destruction. So that was the second shloka of the 14th adhyaya, the Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.